It's my pleasure to keep us moving here. We're going to turn now to Mr. Scott Walker. We're very glad that he came down from D.C. to join us today. Scott Walker is Director of the Office of Korean and Mongolian Affairs. He has served in that capacity since 2021. He previously served at the U.S. Embassy in Beijing, as a public affairs officer at the Consulate General in Toronto, as the press officer at the Consulate General in Shanghai, and as a consular officer at the U.S. Embassy in Seoul. In Washington, he has been a Pearson Fellow on Capitol Hill, the Republic of Korea Unit Chief in the Office of Korean Affairs, and the Embedded Public Diplomacy Officer, also at the Korea Desk. Please help me welcome Scott Walker.
Good morning. I'm honored to join you today to discuss the future-oriented U.S. Republic of Korea Alliance. First, I'd like to thank the Korea Society and the Southeast U.S. Korean Chamber of Commerce, particularly President Byrne and President Kim, for hosting the National Outreach Program. For nearly 7 decades, the U.S. ROK Alliance has been a linchpin of peace, stability, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific and across the globe. The friendship between our people was evident in the warm welcome President Yoon offered President Biden just 10 days after taking office in May. The relationship between the United States and the Republic of Korea is built upon our shared values. We share a strong commitment to democracy, human rights, transparency, and responsive governance. We also share a vision of maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific region, strengthening and upholding the rules-based international order, and advancing global peace and prosperity. Today, many of those values are being challenged by authoritarian leaders who seek to undermine and reshape the rules-based international order for their own benefit. That is why it is crucial that the United States, the Republic of Korea, Japan, and our other allies and partners around the world stand together to address the challenges we face and to show how strong democracies like ours deliver for our people. We are doing just that as we work together to respond to Russian President Putin's unprovoked and brutal war against Ukraine. Since Putin launched his full-scale invasion in February, the Republic of Korea has coordinated sanctions and export controls alongside the United States and other allies and partners from around the globe. It has taken steps to help stabilize energy markets, and the ROK has offered significant economic and humanitarian support for the government and the people of Ukraine. The United States and the Republic of Korea are committed to strengthening our close engagement and our work together to take on the most important and difficult challenges of the 21st century. Under the U.S. ROK Mutual Defense Treaty, the United States has an ironclad commitment to the defense of the ROK and to strengthening our combined defense posture. The United States also has a commitment to extended deterrence using the full range of U.S. defense capabilities. Beyond traditional security challenges, we're expanding our cooperation on regional and international cyber policy, bilateral cooperation in space, and new efforts in science and technology. We also welcome the ROK's increasing dialogue and practical cooperation with NATO, alongside NATO's other Indo-Pacific partners, Japan, Australia, and New Zealand. The ROK and NATO can offer each other valuable perspectives and experiences as we seek to promote cooperative security and support for the rules-based international order across the globe. Our alliance is not limited to security ties. Increasingly, our bilateral work is focused on our strategic, economic, and technology partnerships. Much of what happens in the coming decades will depend on how well governments harness innovation, and especially the transformation afoot in clean energy and digital and tech sectors, while improving the resilience of our economies. The foundation of our economic relationship with the ROK is the Chorus Free Trade Agreement, which celebrated its 10th anniversary earlier this year. The United States is the second largest investor in the ROK, and ROK foreign direct investment in the United States continues to grow, more than tripling in the past decade from $19.7 billion to $62.4 billion, a huge increase. The ROK is now the second largest Asian source of foreign direct investment into the United States. We have a strong history of partnership with the ROK in APEC, which we are excited to be hosting in 2023. We were very happy that the ROK joined us in launching the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework on May 23. Through these and other platforms, we are deepening our cooperation. Our presidents highlighted our forward-looking economic partnership in Seoul, showcasing how Korean and American innovation are working in tandem to produce the most advanced semiconductors in the world. The ROK has announced billions of dollars in investment in U.S. manufacturing, including the building of facilities that will create U.S. jobs and advanced technologies in the automotive and semiconductor sectors. Investments like these are bringing our two countries even closer together, and these increased connections will help strengthen the resilience of our supply chains, secure them against shocks, and give both our economies a competitive edge. We believe that our already strong economic ties will only grow stronger in the days ahead. Presidents Biden and Yoon also recognized the importance of nuclear energy as a reliable source of carbon-free electricity, an important element to grow our clean energy economy, and an integral part of enhancing global energy security. Our countries are also committed to greater nuclear energy collaboration and accelerating the development and global deployment of advanced reactors and small modular reactors by jointly using export promotion and capacity building tools and building a more resilient nuclear supply chain. In order to accomplish this, our cooperation needs to happen in accordance with the highest standards of nuclear nonproliferation, including the IAEA Additional Protocol as the standard for both international safeguards and for nuclear supply arrangements. We also recognize the importance of respecting each country's intellectual investments. Alongside our deep economic ties, we are also working to tackle the most pressing challenges of today and tomorrow. Since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have been steadfast bilateral partners, as demonstrated by the U.S. government's donation of vaccines to the ROK, which the Korean people then paid forward through vaccine donations to other countries. Our two governments and our private sectors are working to combat the COVID-19 pandemic globally, including through the COVID-19 Global Action Plan. Another area in which the United States and the ROK are working to strengthen cooperation is in response to the climate crisis. During President Biden's recent visit to Seoul, he and President Yoon reaffirmed our respective commitments to our nationally determined contribution under the Paris Agreement, and we are implementing strong efforts to align policies across sectors. The two presidents also committed to enhance collaboration to address global methane emissions and to strengthen cooperation in clean energy fields, including hydrogen, clean shipping, accelerated deployment of zero-emissions vehicles, ZEVs, and aligning international financial flows with the achievement of global net zero emissions by 2050. Both of our countries have benefited greatly from an open, free, global, interoperable, reliable, and secure internet, and we are committed to working together to combat the rising threats posed by digital authoritarianism, defend human rights, and foster an open network of networks that ensures the free flow of information globally. We are also working together to develop open, transparent, and secure 5G and 6G network devices and architectures using Open RAN approaches, both at home and abroad. The United States and the Republic of Korea are also working to align our respective approaches to promote our shared vision for the Indo-Pacific region. That includes basic principles like preventing barriers to lawful commerce and respecting international law governing the freedom of navigation and overflight. And it includes preserving peace and stability everywhere, including in the Taiwan Strait. In order to promote this shared vision for the Indo-Pacific, we must also have a robust and effective trilateral relationship between the United States, the Republic of Korea, and Japan. Together, we are building a positive, forward-looking agenda, including trilateral security cooperation, defending and promoting human rights, gender equity, and the international rules-based order, and addressing economic and energy security, supply chain resiliency, the climate crisis, and the COVID-19 pandemic. Pivoting to the DPRK, the United States, the ROK, and Japan continue to be in full alignment on our approach to the DPRK. Our shared goal remains the complete denuclearization of the Korean Peninsula. The DPRK has significantly increased the pace and scale of its ballistic missile launches in the last year. These provocative launches are violations of multiple UN Security Council resolutions, and they threaten the peace and security of the Indo-Pacific region and of the entire international community. That is why our leaders have issued multiple high-level statements condemning the DPRK's recent ballistic missile launches and calling on it to abandon its unlawful weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs and instead engage in diplomacy. The Secretary, following the trilateral meeting in Bali, Indonesia last week, issued a joint statement condemning the DPRK's continued illicit activity. In addition, the United States has been leading efforts in the United Nations to rally the world in responding to the DPRK's repeated violations of international law. We continue to believe we can find a peaceful and diplomatic resolution with the DPRK. The United States harbors no hostile intent towards the DPRK, and the path to dialogue remains open. We urge the DPRK to take that path, to commit to serious and sustained diplomacy, and to refrain from pursuing further destabilizing activities. However, make no mistake, our commitment to upholding our security commitments remains ironclad. We remain absolutely focused on defending the United States, the Republic of Korea, Japan, and other allies and partners in the region from security threats. In closing, I would like to reiterate that the U.S. ROK Alliance has truly matured into a future-oriented and comprehensive global strategic relationship. Through close ties between our two dynamic populations, extensive economic and investment links, and a shared commitment to democracy, human rights, and the rules-based international order, we will meet any challenge and seize the opportunities presented to us together. Thank you.